Since most of you will forget by the end of the video, as always, please like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the notification icon. That will actually help these videos to get a wider spread. Hello traders, hope you are enjoying the weekend. Let us plan for tomorrow and let us see what happened on Friday and over the last week and what we are expecting in the coming days. Friday I could not trade at all. There were some medical emergencies at home and I did not get a chance to trade. I took some trades around between 12 and 2 and that was it. Let us start looking at the monthly chart. If you look at the monthly chart, it still is a very bullish candle which has closed pretty high up from its midpoint. We do have a wick at the top, but then we had a wick here as well, right? So at this point of time, it will be very important to keep an eye on this. This is pretty far away, but however, it is very possible that we can come and test this. The way the week ended and the Friday ended last week, the only positive thing that I see is that the bulls are still holding that 19.25 area, right? However, they got very hard rejection from near the ATH, and we came down around 60 points, 60 70 points on Friday, which was not very encouraging to see how the bulls have been moving. However, as soon as they came down to the 10.75 line, they bounced immediately and posted the closed the bar basically above 5519 once again, and from there we continued up to the 25 to 27 area, and then to the 35 to the 34 to 36 or the 33 line once again. And then we started creating a trading range there. So let us see what we have in stock for us. Looking at this monthly candle, we have even gapped up above the close of the monthly candle. So given that fact, it is no way showing me any bearishness on the monthly candle. So there is still a chance that we can go up. And let us just see that at the end of this month, did we have any new wedges or anything develop here? This is the only wedge that we have on the monthly chart at this point, and looking at it, it seems that the bulls may very well actually go and hit the top here and then decide what to do, right? Now, this is the only wedge that I see on the monthly chart, and the target for that is pretty far away at 6723. It's really far. So there is a possibility that it can go and touch this line, but you do not know when. You do not know whether it will be able to cross over the current ATH, or before that we will have some legs down. We do not know that, right? Apart from that, I also see this thing developing. I would keep it here a little bit conservative, and let us see if we can hold above this line tomorrow and then keep going up to higher levels, right? And if we want to get the exact point on this line, it will be again in the 5554 5555 area, and that is where we may find resistance again, or it may go up to the 60 line as well, the 60 to 62 area, and then we will see where it can come down. Let us look at the weekly chart now. If we see, we have gapped up on the weekly chart. This is still the support area on the weekly chart. We have hit this line multiple times over the last week, and it has still held, right? So as long as this area holds, the 19 line holds, there is still a chance that the bulls will try to get above these areas. It will try to go up. However, if 19 breaks down tomorrow and then we come down to 1025 again or 1075 again, and we see that it is flushing down, it may actually come to this area of 5502 to 5499. This will be an area of interest on the weekly chart, and if we see bouncing from there and we give up this low again and the bulls keep climbing, we will again see the 19 area, we'll see the 25 to 27 area, and we'll see the 33 to 36 area, and then we will see where the market wants to go after that. On the weekly chart, we do have an inside bar here, so this becomes a mother bar on the weekly time frame now. However, we will see if we have any other mother bars available on the lower time frames, because this time frame will be very wide to predict. However, we will have to keep some numbers in mind. So if I bring my mother bar fibs here, the 79 to 89% again lies in the 67 to 77 area. You do not need to mark these on your charts because that will make the chart too much complicated. But just remember these numbers, 5, 6, 7 and 7, 7. The midpoint being the 40 and the lower points being the 5510 and the 5500 once again. So these are the levels that we need to keep in mind, and we'll have to see how the prices react at those levels and then trade accordingly for the rest of the next week. If you also see that we did actually complete the wedge, so now there is a big possibility that we can get two legs down on the weekly chart, and we may come and touch this trend line also, which if it happens this week will be around the 5328 area, but then again it is around 200 points down from here. We will have to see how it unfolds. If we get around below these levels, which is at 5490, there is always a chance that we can come to the 5440 area, 5445 area. There is a gap there on the daily chart, and then we will see that whether if it is a dumping down more over as we progress through the week, and then we will see if it can come and touch the 5390, and then maybe this area at 5324. Apart from that, this is just one bar red on the weekly chart. We can come down a little bit more. Like you see, we had the pullbacks here, and right from this line, it is highly possible that we can have a couple of legs down on the weekly chart. But as long as the major support areas do not break down, I am really not sure whether the bears will be able to carry that out first, or the bulls want to make a new high and then it will come down first. So that remains to be seen, right? Now I have got the daily chart here. If you see, we do have a outside down bar on the daily, which is really good looking for the bears, but these levels have to break down, right? So if I look at the daily chart, I will mark this area. This has been the area of support for quite some time. This has been the buy zone, so I will mark it as such. And then if you see, we have tried once, we have tried twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times we have tried to break this area and have been unsuccessful. So now if we finally on the 5th attempt we try to break down this area, I would see that this would be the first area, which is the 5507 area. Again, if you remember, that has been a target for the bears on the downside, the 4-hour bears, which they have not been able to achieve yet. We actually went up above that and we have come down below. So this remains a very good target for the bears if they want to come down again. So if you see that I drew this new channel here, and the midpoint of this channel on the daily chart comes to around 55.11, which again happens to be in the same buy zone. So we'll have to see if the price comes down there, how it reacts again, and is it trying to get back up? Is it trying to get and go and sit above the 19 level again? If that does not happen and we are not able to cross over the 19 level after we come down here and we start coming down again, then mostly it is coming to the 5499 and then to the 5490 areas, and then we will see which direction it moves. On the upside, keep an eye. If we start going up, keep an eye on this 5562 line. This will be the trend line that will be holding price here again. And if you see, this is the closure that we could not close above yet, right? So this is the body closure that we could not close above yet, and that happens to be at 61.75. so if price again comes up here tomorrow, we are in a trading range, right? So it is highly possible price comes back again here, do some sideways movement in the morning, and then come back and hit this line again. So once it hits this line, be very careful. If you see a sharp reversal from this area, you know that we are not going to go up, and maybe we will have some legs down again, and we may again come down to the bottom of the TR, and then we will see what is going on. So this is the 4-hour chart, and if you see that we are in this kind of a trading range, this is one trading range on the 4-hour chart, this is another trading range on the 4-hour chart, and it is doing it around the 40 or the 4175 line. So we see that we had a strong leg down, and then if we say that this was another leg up, it is highly possible that we come and test this area once again and say that okay, this was the second leg down for the bears. However, once we see how these candles are forming overnight, then we will be able to define some support and resistance areas on the 4-hour chart. However, sitting at this point, we see that this is a very good sell zone for the 4-hour chart right here, and I will mark it as such. So this being the sell zone, if you see that we came back up here and then we are trying to go down again. However, on the 4-hour chart, this has been a very good buy area as well. So if you see, we have done it once, twice, thrice, and 4 times, and the 5th time may actually break out, right? So we say that 80% of the time the TR breakout fails, and we out of 5 times we have already done the 4th times here. So if this breaks down, my first target again will be in the 5490 to the 5492 area, provided we can get down from the 5500 level, right? So if you see, this is a line that I will keep my eyes peeled on. This is the 5500 line, and if you see, there is a lot of support in this area. A lot has happened in this area, and if you see, most of the candles closed either below this or above this before we shot up. So this line will be very important. Based on the 4-hour chart, the 5500 line. Once it breaks this down, we will mostly come down here, and then we will have to target some places in this area. And finally, this gap may be closed between the 6-2 and the 5-4 area, and then we will see what happens, because this happens to be another bull flag, right? This is sideways movement, and this is bull flag right here. We have the gaps, so the bulls will have a lot of support here, and once we hit these support areas, we'll see where the market is moving, and we will take the action based on that. On the upper side, if you see, this line again is a line of contention, which is at 5548. So this has been a very good level where prices has been rejecting. We went up above that, we took support here and kept going up. However, we got rejected and came back down again. So this is typical trading range behavior that we have here right now, and it will continue to be in this trading range. We were hoping that we will get some of the news last week will put it out of this trading range, but that did not happen. So we may get another week exactly in the same area between the 84 and the 10.75 area. We may get another week crisscrossing, and then maybe the market will decide which way to go. Maybe they're waiting for the next interest rate decision or something of that sort. We'll have to see what happens to that. However, as long as we do not break out of these levels, the top or the bottom, we are still in the trading range, and we will have to play these areas accordingly as well. This is a sell buy zone, and I'll mark it like that. Yeah. So this is what we have on the 4-hour chart. Let us now go to the 1-hour chart and see what is happening there. So last week we drew another channel on the 1-hour chart, right? So as soon as it broke down, if you see, we tried to hold the middle of it. We tried to go back up again. However, we failed and came back to the bottom of the channel again. So we are in the downward part of this channel right now. The price has to break up. If it tries to goes up again, this 40 to 42 area needs to break out in order to move to this 5755 area, and then we will have to see if we can cross this line. This will be another important line on the hourly chart. If you see, there is a support and resistance area here, which incidentally happens to be the 66.75 line. So this is in accordance with our higher time frame line as well, right? Where we saw a similar area 65 to 67 getting rejected. So we will have to keep an eye on this. If we cross over from here, maybe we will go to the previous ATH once again, or we will go to 73 and get stuck there. So we will have to see what happens, how the price moves once we get above these levels. Now on the hourly chart, I will have another channel ready here. Since we are in the sideways movement, I am still working with the bullish channels, right? So as soon as we break down these areas, maybe then I will try to create the bearish channels and see how far it goes. As of now, if I want to draw some trend lines, this can be one trend line. If you see, the top of this and the bottom of this is perfectly matching. So this can be a trend line target for the bears to break it down again sometime next week. And if they do that, then we will come back to this area of balance zone on the hourly chart, which is again till the 90 area. And then if we fall down from there, and the 90 area also happens to be at the bottom of this channel. And then if we break down, we will see that if we need to create one more channel, or we can keep it here right now so that we do not have to bother about it midday. So after that breaks down, maybe this 7-4 area should be a good target. If you see, there is a support here as well on the hourly chart, the 7-3 area. If this breaks down, then we will try to close some of these gaps that we have here. On the other side, I will also keep this kind of a trend line available. I will try to see if we are breaking through this trend line. If you see, we failed multiple times. We got support here, we got support here, but finally we broke this down and we have come down from that. Now price may even try to move in this expanding triangle between these two dwelling lines. We will see what has happened overnight and what the London session did till morning, and we will decide it again at our 8:45 a.m. EST pre-market call, that how the market can move throughout the day tomorrow. So now let us look at the final piece of the puzzle again, which happens to be the RTH 5 minutes chart now. So since we are moving in this area for more than a week now, it has created some very close support and resistance areas. So we will need to mark them down so that we do not lose out on our focus, and it can be a very tight trading range for the next few days before we can actually break out of it, right? It will break out ultimately of it. We do not know in which direction. We will have to see that. So if you see here, this 28 to 25 area, this is a very good support at this point of time. Let me mark this as support because the price is above it right now. And right above that we have that 38 to 36 or 38 to 35, that area which has been a very stubborn support resistance area as well. Finally we broke it down, and now we need to see that we are going above it in order to target these areas. Maybe not completely to 48, but we can very easily get to the 40 to the 42 level. Above that we will have the 53 to 56 level of resistance, and then we will have the 60 to the 63 area. This was the head and shoulder neckline that broke down and we came all the way down, right? So this line will become very important tomorrow. And after that we have the 75 line on the top, and finally the ATH area, right? And if we decide to come break out this 25 again, maybe we will see the 19 area again. Maybe we'll come back to the 11 or the 10.25 line again, and below that this line, the 5500 line, will be very important as well. There has been a lot of transactions that has happened in and around this particular line, so it may come down here. If we break it, we are coming down to the 92 to the 90 area. Below that we have the 84 to 88, and below that we have the 7473 line. And if we keep on coming down, then we will try to close this gap here, right? Around the 5448 or 5450 area, the gap may be closed out. So that is all that I have right now. We will meet again at 8:45 a.m. EST in the morning, and see what has happened overnight, and then decide what are the different paths that the price can take throughout the day, and then we will play that accordingly. If you want to join the 8:45 a.m. EST a live pre-market call, the link to that is given in the description below. Along with that, you will also find the link to our free Discord server and the Facebook page. You are very welcome to join there, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.